Hey everybody, this is just a update on my off-road mower that I'm building. I'm getting close to having it ready to run, so I thought I'd go over a few things. I've had the motor off, which is a 85 model 14 horse opposed twin Briggs & Stratton. Had it off and cleaned it up and got a lot of the carbon and stuff off the piston and valves, lapped the valves. It probably needs new rings, but for now I'm just going to run it. Cleaned up the carburetor and rebuilt it. I have the stock exhaust on here just to get it ready to run. Eventually I'll run dual exhaust, run out the back of the mower. Let's see. The front end has been raised and welded solid, so it'll fit these 20-inch tires that were on the rear. And they're bolted on. I welded a 3/4 inch bolt to the original spindle, and then it's locked on with two nuts lock nutted together to put the rear wheels on the front. And the rear wheels and tires are off of a four-wheeler. They're I welded a 4-bolt flange to the 3/4 inch shaft, and those are four-wheeler wheels with 22-inch tires that are pretty dry rotted. I put tubes in them just so they'd hold air. Let's see what else. The electronics are all done. Everything's done, pretty much ready to run, except for the choke and throttle cables. The throttle cable will be a bicycle handle or brake cable over here on the right side, and the choke will be just inserted in the dash here. All the safety switches and everything have been removed. You got a on-off switch here for the coil and a push button start. Let's see. I had to remake the mount for the seat since it didn't come with one. And I'm putting a full-size truck battery in this, so I would have had to remake it anyway. It's a door hinge and some angle iron just welded together, and spaced out the springs for the seat. And here you can see, if it's not too dark, where the battery will sit. There's a piece of 1.5 inch thick foam, and the ratchet strap will hold it in place. What else? All the electronics are up at the very top of the dash, right by the steering wheel, where they'll stay high and dry. And I coated all the bare wire connections on the positive side with hot glue, so that should further waterproof it. And here, I don't know if you can see this, but I used a piece of electrical conduit and drilled through the body of the mower to run the positive battery cable from the solenoid back to the battery to keep it above the frame, to keep it out of the way of anything getting hung on it, but also to keep it from, like my leg, to keep it from pulling it or damaging it in any way. And then I just used hot glue again right here around the hole and painted it black, and it almost looks like a bead from welding. But I think that turned out pretty good. I don't know if you'll be able to see here, but underneath I've made a angle iron ramp for any obstacles, and I plan on putting a skid plate over top the whole bottom, and that will keep me from getting hung up on just the transaxle. And like I said, it's pretty close to being running now. Just need to get the throttle cable, which is a bicycle brake cable, hooked up. Get the choke hooked up, and I'm missing a link that goes from this throttle linkage right here to the governor setup. And once I know the distance of that, I'll make a new one. And then I should be ready to test it. And that's about it. It's a combination of a Murray widebody LT and a old Montgomery Ward's mower that was made by MTD. That's where the seat comes from. That's where the steering wheel comes from. That's where the motor comes from. And everything else is Murray widebody. And it's a 5-speed manual transmission. And I'm going to make a shifter extension for the handle to use this rubber handle here, which has the indentions for your fingers. I think it'll work a little bit better, but that's a finishing touch job. And also here you can see I had to raise the stock dash 3 inches by welding in 3-inch wide sheet metal, because this opposed twin motor is much taller than the original motor that came on this lawnmower. And that's about all I have for this project. When I get it started, I'll make another video of it running and see how it runs. That's it for now.